Hi there, my fantastic friends. Guess what today is? That's right, it's the 11th of January. However, if you're in Japan, it's more commonly known as Kagami biraki. So, let's go ahead and take our Kagami mochi. And make some zenzai. So I've never actually messed with mochi. It's interesting. These things are hard as a rock. And traditionally what you're supposed to do is you're not supposed to cut the mochi into pieces. And there for a hot second I was trying to figure out how do I break this up. And then I had the brilliant idea of, well, you gotta grill it first, and then it gets soft, and then you break it up. So let's go ahead and get this little mochi grill going. I've never used this thing before. And things go about as good as you'd expect. It's a bit of a learning process, isn't it? Is that a good thing? I have no earthly idea what I'm doing. So what is Kagami biraki? Well, it's kind of the cherry on top of the Japanese New Year celebration. Kagami is like an old mirror. Biraki is basically to break or open would be probably a better term. It basically translates to the opening of the mirror. The mochi itself is kind of like an offering to the New Year's kami-sama. And you basically, that's kind of why you don't cut it with a knife, because cutting has kind of bad implications and bad meaning behind it, which is why you traditionally would break it with a hammer or your hands. However, most modern day Japanese people use these little plastic ones, mainly because A, you don't want the mochi to get moldy, and B, it's just a lot easier. Alright, those are actually looking pretty good. The first one kind of came out probably a little underdone, but hey, you know what? We're learning here, and as you learn, you get better at a thing, and I think I've gotten a lot better at grilling mochi now. So let's go ahead and break these apart. This is also very important, mainly because if you don't break up the mochi, it's very chewy. You can actually choke on it if you're not careful. So I'm actually going to break this up, not only because it's tradition, but also to make it easier to eat. Now let's bring in our anko paste, or red bean paste. This stuff there's many different types of red bean paste. I just bought a packet of it from a local grocery store. You typically want to do like 1-to-1, so like I've got about 175 grams of red bean paste, which honestly probably is a little much, but I kind of just eyeballed it and was like, that looks fine. And so you also want to take about 175 grams of water, but once you put in some water, you kind of want to let it sit there and heat up. And you gotta make sure to stir this thing because it burns really easy. So you just kind of stir it until it starts to boil, and then you're good to go. And then once you're done, you just gotta plop your mochi into your bowl, and then just sploosh some red bean soup right on it, and you have a sweet, delicious zenzai. But that's not the only thing you can do with it. You can also make a savory dish by using soy sauce and seaweed. I've heard that's also very good. I might try that next year. Or, maybe just on a random Tuesday. Who knows? But without further ado, here is our delicious zenzai. Itsutekimasu. Gochisousama deshita. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this little experiment. And, Hey, you know what? It's fun to experiment and try different dishes from different cultures, and even try different holidays from different cultures as well. Until next time, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day and a very, very happy new year. Until then, mata ne!